like everybody here is suddenly on the good management bandwagon. And I'm sure all of you all would like to be on it too. But somebody's got to whip the horses. Somebody's got to pull them out of the road mud on that road that I see every morning. Somebody's got to be making this thing move forward. Somebody has to have integrity and a purpose. And I think that it's been mentioned from up here, and a point that I had written down to bring forward also. The county judge can have a report, and he can publish it, and he can publish it on a regular basis, and that's the way to communicate with the people. I brought this up months ago, and some very good citizens said, well, we'll publish anything you write, Gail. You just put your finger where the squeaking is. And that's what we're here for tonight. Thank you.
Mr. Tennant, thank you. Mr. Hudlin.
As I already said, I'm not going to toe tap about it. I didn't say I would replace somebody that left their job or retired. Please, each one of you, a lot of business people out there, can you raise your taxes? Do you have to balance your budget? I have to balance my budget. I think each department should have to balance their budget. We do have a surplus for emergencies to be met, and that's what it's for only. This country is in 10% unemployment, in case many of you don't realize. 1 out of every 10 people are unemployed. Jobs are hard to come by. And yeah, Judge, I might have gone down 200, plus or minus. I wanted to ask you a question. Did you get your tax appraisal down on your house after it came out?
It was high.
But did you go to the appraisal office and get it down? And coming to the county commissioners meetings, I've been concerned. You have to put some extra time out. If I'm county judge, you'll have nighttime meetings so you can come to them. Ms. Shaw is going to use that as an example, but she hasn't been working over the past years, and she hasn't been showing up for county commissioners meetings. Where have you been?
I was in school.
Mr. Hudlin, thank you.
We
Mr.
can do better
Eccles?
than that when we use the internet. We
Excuse me,
tremendous resources
excuse me,
that are just
Mr. Tennant. Mr. Eccles?
Take it on.
Thank you.
Judge Kendall referred to my filing a suit, and I did. And he attributes that as being the cause for part of the expense of the law firm in San Antonio. However, Karnes County called the fire department before there was a fire. And I'm afraid it was very costly, I'm sure it was, but the lawsuit was never heard. There was no need to call an attorney. I wanted to stop, at least delay, the construction of the annex building. I didn't have time to finish describing what I've done in my life. Most of you know me, though. Used to be in the construction business. So I had a look at a set of plans for the annex building, and I figured a cost on it. $2,268,000. When the bids came in, the lowest bid was $4.6 million, double what I would have built it for. But I didn't bid on it. I'm not in the building business. But that's what it should have cost.
Mr. Eccles?
And I assume it's going to cost that or more. I'm going to guess at about $5 million before they're through.
Thank you, Mr. Eccles. Mr. Kendall? 10 minutes, Bob.
Okay. Move on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Couple of things have been, I'm sorry. Couple of things have been mentioned here. As far as I mentioned the insurance, I mentioned the money. Now, the money in the bank has been suggested. We only had $1.2 million in the bank. When we started this year, at the end of last year, our balance in the bank was $3,207,000. So, and even if we spent everything that's in the budget right now, we'd still have over $2.5 million in the bank at the end of this coming year, and that's not going to happen. And this, in addition, our certificate obligation is $3.137 million as of October the 1st, as opposed to what was said a while ago that we only had $2 million in the bank for the new building. We have $3,137,000 in the bank. I have increased, while I've been in commissioner as county judge, the reserve in 2000.
Sorry, gotta keep on the time. Third question. Mr. Tennant? I'll read the question, and again, you guys, if you need me to read it again when we go through, please ask.
Could you speak a little more clearly? I didn't understand what you just said.
If you need for me to read the question again as we go through the lineup, I will do that again for you. This is your question. You're the first one up. Much has been said about the cost of the annex building and the tax money spent on county positions, equipment, and facilities. What are some of your ideas to reduce the amount of county tax monies being spent? Let me read that again.
No. I've heard too much about it. I suggest to you that if we can't get our roads straight and we can't get our jails empty, we don't need to be talking about some honeymoon cabin in the sky. We can get by with what we're doing, but we've got to work at it. And I think that the idea of under what circumstances can we go forward with the annex is completely anathema to me. I'm a trial lawyer. I've tried cases all over the state of Texas for over 40 years, and I only get the nasty ones. I only get the hard ones. Nobody brings me a simple car crash. And I tell you what, that bank in San Antonio, those architects, those persons standing around with their pockets turned out, ready for Karnes County to write the big check, are going to run like rabbits to the hill if you get the kind of representation that you deserve in the county judge's office. Thank you.
Mr. Tennant, thank you. Mr. Huntley?
Accountability, pure and simple. A $3.6 million annex that I started the first petition with 800 taxpayer signatures on. It took it was the fine gentlemen, ladies, to the court and asked to be placed on the agenda and asked for a call for action to stop the annex. I was refused by Judge Kendall. I was refused by my commissioner. He didn't refuse me. He refused 800 taxpayers in this county. $280,000 in architecture fees went out without bids. He talked about the teachers' employment, the employees' employment, $60,000 difference. There wasn't that much difference. He also said by the end of the year we're going to have a 2-point-something surplus. Mr. Tennant has a copy of the budget right here, accepted and approved by the county commissioners, and it drains the budget down to 1.2 by the end of the year. All you have to do is look at the budget. $45,000 for another supervisor to sit and watch the annex be built. The people that were paid as architects are supposed to have supervisors there. Why did we need that? Waste in government spending and no accountability. I won't forget who elected me. I will be accountable, and I will cut the waste out of spending.
Mr. Huntley, thank you. Mr. Eccles?
Well, I think we're all singing the same song. Government spending is out of control. Taxes, government's only source of income, is also out of control. Taxing small business causes high retail store prices, causes many business failures. Unemployment is at record high levels. Many home loans are in default and foreclosures. We've got to stop government spending and let the people spend. You need to tell your government whether to build a building and how much to spend on it and what your taxes need to be. I think it hasn't been mentioned there, talking about the budget. If I'm not mistaken, I think Karnes County borrowed $3 million from Frost Bank not too long ago. They're paying it back now. I'm not sure what the interest rate was. They had it invested and it was making more interest than it was costing, but that turned around, and I think it now is costing more than it's making. Thank you.
Mr. Coles, thank you. Mr. Kendall?
Yes, this is a question that only someone's going to ask of someone that's not in this position. Obviously, that question is directed strictly to me and nobody else up on this podium.